CREAM reports. M is management quality. The board of directors, committees, SEBI, LODR 17 to 27. And then is number 22 is Vigil Mechanism. Is regulation number 22, LODR. Number 1. The listed entity shall formulate a vigil mechanism in bracket whistleblower policy for directors and employees to report genuine concerns. Number 2. The vigil mechanism shall provide for adequate safeguards against victimization of directors or employees or any other person who avail the mechanism, and also provide for direct access to the chairperson of the audit committee in appropriate or exceptional cases. That's what the regulation, SEBI regulation LODR says. Now let me explain how I look at it from the knowledge database, roadmap India 2047, ethical responsibility, etc. There are three types of interests, conflict of interest. One is conflict of interest. Number 2, conflict of personal interest. And number 3 is conflict of conscience. Conflict of interest, one can say a director is discussing and one of his relatives or known persons is competing for a contract. He can recuse himself. The judges do recuse themselves when there is a conflict of interest. It's very simple. Conflict of personal interest is pretty difficult. For example, this pyramidal investment, that ex-CMD was fined about 45 crores. He was doing the insider trading. When a person does the insider trading within a particular company, and that too who is going to be a very big person like MD and all that, the insider trading part of it is very difficult to catch that. But what happens during that particular insider trading, or they think that they have come out of the any conflicts because nobody else knows. It's not the case. Invariably they spell out when they are could be a personal assistant or somebody, or discussing with like an Enron. The Enron is a top bosses who had done the insider trading, did a lot of this thing. So there is a whistleblower policy comes. Where does the whistleblower comes into being? That is conflict of conscience. There are people who could be a personal assistant or could be one of your friends whom you had trusted for years. They have a conscience. That conflict of conscience reveals where the particular person is doing something, thinking that nobody else knows. So my analytics in terms of fiscal, ethical, and co-responsibility framework, bringing in the track of entanglement, subject, object, self, as well as governance, I'm looking into the ethical responsibility, which there are two areas: policies, regulatory, and compliance, which we have discussed so far. And number 1 is the establishing corporate culture. That is the most important thing that I like to stress. You cannot give a protection to a guy, a whistleblowing policy, by telling that you can be protected by if you go to the chairperson of the audit committee. It will not happen. And it had not happened, for example, in the case of Enron. Long after Enron had been caught red-handed, that lady came very late. So this is a major problem with every company. So what is very important is establishing corporate culture. That's what this FAC report brings into, which is the part and parcel of the management quality. So in the vigil mechanism of number 22 of LODR of SEBI, I am bringing the concept of establishing corporate culture by bringing in CEC, that is how M&M Code of Conduct, COC, is being brought into picture. You have to have a complete corporate culture. You cannot protect one or two people with one or two areas of misgovernance. So let us be very clear about it. So we will discuss that and how I brought it. Let us look into the code of conduct of Mahindra and Mahindra, on which I have indicated here for Vigil Mechanism. There are two portions which is being marked. A is maintaining ethical business standards, and B, commitment to business associates, suppliers, customers, and the environment. If you take the first one, A is self-governance within the organization one works for. What you owe yourself, you create ethical assets for your company that stay with you forever. Ethical assets belong to you. Some of the points which had been raised in this first one, A, gifts and entertainment. It's a very clear-cut policy is being created. Involvement in political activities, industry forums, conflicts of interest, dealings with relatives and close associates, outside employment, delivering lectures, engaging vendors, customers, or any of the business partners for personal use, outside investments. You don't start another company similar to that of your own. Directorship in external companies and other appointments. These are the things which are being indicated, which are self-governance. Provides you with the self-discipline, how you conduct yourself. This is nothing to do with anybody else. It's your own. There's a point in which when a company like say Mahindra and Mahindra has established an excellent corporate culture, it is not the name of the company that is very important. It is an institution, becomes an institution. I am a proud member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. It is an institution is there, but is what I do. When I said about Ronaldo or Pele or something, they become very important. Any number of chartered accounts I have done extremely good or renowned. So is the case with a company. The company's individuals have to become very important. What they do in a company, and that is where the COC, Code of Conduct, comes into being. We are not measuring how the individuals do within a company. It's easy to say 38 people in Tata Steels have been sacked because COC they did not comply with. I don't think it is correct. What is very important, even in the analogy, football analogy, there is a whistleblower. That is the coach or the referee blows the whistle and shows the red card. No, I don't agree with that. This is what is very important. The individuals, the any number of individuals who are very good or doing extremely well. The other guys, I created a team of 5, 1 for ethical and 4 for fiscal responsibility people. These people help each other to come to get the optimum level of performance. That can come by knowing, that is my principle of return on intangible, where the numerator is action or inaction and the denominator is intangible. Intangible is a powerhouse. Each person, Potter to the nuclear scientist, if you go through the synapses and neurons that work in any ordinary human being, the mathematics is not available. That's what neuro experts say, is more than that of the stars in the galaxy. Each person, each janitor, our capability, our what we can do for anybody is something very great. We are not doing that in a company. What happens in a company is, so far, it is a hierarchical one-man call center. In a company like about 200,000 or 700,000 people, we got stuck with about CEOs and a few directors and a few vice presidents. that can never, such companies will fade away at a point of time. But companies that recognize the capability of each and every individual within a company and bring them up and show them up to the world. It could be in any number of areas, like for example the customer's service, or in terms of some of the very critical area of operation within a company, like IS audit and IS departments. These are all the people who have to be brought to the fore. So what happens, I am trying to inform here, three areas of responsibility. One is a fiscal responsibility. What you owe your company. You create the fiscal assets for your company. These assets stay with the company forever. That is object governance. Everybody does it, without which the company cannot make profits. Profits are very important. When we say in this chart, if you see, there's a sustainability efficiency. We make a lot of like a TKM or Six Sigma and so many things we utilize to have the profits. The profits will continue. But if you look at the establishment of corporate culture with the sustainability of value system being brought in, that gives you the sustainability of profits. That's a difference, which also pays for the sustainability of growth, which comes from ethical responsibility. There cannot be a single person out of the 700,000 people of Volkswagen who's what they call the to integrity. The integrity is very important for each and every person. So what does the ethical responsibility undertaking comes? What you owe yourself. You create ethical assets for your company that stay with you forever. Ethical assets belongs to you. What you create for one company, you can carry to another company. And this is a subject governance. You have to identify a Pele or a Ronaldo or a Mbappe within your company who can be taken by another company also, but is ethically strong people. They're not going to be just taken over by another company because they have done very well in the company. So the company where they work at the moment, the ethical responsibility being undertaken, ethical assets being created, one has to know it belongs to you and not to Mahindra or Tatas. Let us be very clear about it. Then the co-responsibility, what you owe the society, an identity with ethical responsibility, that by which corporate infers and society teaches, is self-governance. There are a lot of good things when we are talking about Ratan Tata. It is on the core responsibility he had undertaken. Everybody was crying all over India. Why? That is his core responsibility. His identity with ethical responsibility, that by which he inferred and how the society took care of. B is object governance, which is commitment to business associates, suppliers, customers, and the environment. What you owe your company. You create the fiscal assets for your company. These assets stay with the company forever. You are helping the company, that's what you are paid for. Ensuring product quality, responsible marketing, commitment to our customers, commitment to ethical sourcing, fair competition, commitment to sustainability, commitment to stakeholders. This is an outside involvement. The first one we saw is self-governance, so on. That is the foundation. That is the foundation which helps you to deal with outsiders in the same pattern as your company would like you to do. Vigil mechanism. Two areas we discuss. A. Maintaining ethical business standards. About 30 process blocks. B. Commitment to business associate, suppliers, customers, on the environment. 93 process blocks, totaling 123. We are given index of an activity by resource area, totaling 3075 points. 123 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 5. This is 5 is the optimum level since it has been created for the purpose of as a standard by the company is COC of Mahindra & Mahindra. Full marks are being given, full optimum marks are being given, which has to be taken into account at the time of corporate governance area. Each and every area, each and every 123 process blocks have to be measured. When it comes, that rating is the one which is going to judge how it is well done by, in this particular case, is Mahindra & Mahindra. Topping the list of 123 is anti-bribery and anti-corruption. Kofi Annan, the ex-UN Secretary General, forward for UNCAC, stated, corruption is an insidious plague that has a wide range of corrosive effects on societies. It undermines democracy and the rule of law, leads to violations of human rights, distorts markets, erodes the quality of life, and allows organized crime, terrorism, and other threats to human security to flourish. Accountability remains a daydream. Ex-post-facto, punishment is too late. Pyramid capital, ex-MD Kushru Jijina pays 45 crores and walks away coolly. Pyramid capital, Siemens, GE, Volkswagen, Island FS, Toshiba, Satyam Computers have also walked away. These companies, even after the exit of such of these guys, must have created this vigil mechanism and should have assured the society that everything is okay now. They have not done it. GE just changed the auditors, and Volkswagen has sacked Dr. Herbert Diess, who had done a great job in bringing back Volkswagen from the abyss they were in by introducing T4I, Together for Integrity. This attitude from corporate is unacceptable. I recall the famous Amin Sayani of Binaka Gitmala from Radio Ceylon telling the audience in a speech at Worli, if there is an atom bomb explodes in Bombay, one place that is safe is Worli, where there would be no radioactivity. Worli is where All India Radio was situated, maybe even now. Corporate is like that. None of them bother. It is imperative every company institutes this vigil mechanism in toto and be tracked. For example, one of the 30 process blocks, the first one, A, says dealings with relatives and close associates. PM Modi has set a great benchmark in this. Corporate must follow some principles. Otherwise, what Kofi Annan stated cannot be avoided. To conclude, goal congruence, individual unleashing of energy and getting credit for it is a new form of capitalism. A team of 5 is yoked together but work independently, having the same goal for each to optimize the rating, which is 5. 260,000 workforce has as many teams of 5, each excelling in their own sphere of influence, enabling an easy span of control. That is the only goal. Each person has a name and each task has an other ID as a denominator. No red card, but a lower performance by one triggers the other 4 to help pull the person up to reach the optimum level. Peter Drucker says that the purpose of an organization is to enable ordinary people to do extraordinary things. One postscript. Please see the chart above. I said in corporate atomic structure, there is a second electron passes through that orbits around the corporate nucleus, what I call corporate MOM, corporate management orbitamation. As the chart states, empower ethical co-responsibility work entirely to women, as what PM Modi says, Nari Shakti.